see down there with the time, about 7:51 on April 26th today. And you know, I recently listened to and downloaded, and I listened to and I downloaded Ian Flynn's interview that he did with with the Segabits people. Now, what I even did too is I even created a vid on it, a 2 hour plus vid. What I'm not going to do just yet is upload it if I plan to do it. Now, there are a few items that I want to talk about. Now, I did listen to the entire thing, I'll be honest with you, I didn't. But for those of you, but for those of you that want to listen, they are apparently, from what I understand, are going to upload the entire interview right here on YouTube eventually. And after they do that, maybe, just maybe, I might upload, some of it as well. It's not the entire near 3 hour deal. It's kind of like cut down a little bit, if you know what I mean. But there were some things he brought up which really kind of caught my eye as a fan. One thing was, what I had thought, and I'm pretty sure some of you pretty much figured out too, was he acknowledged that Sonic Universe issue 50 and Sonic 250 a few months later are going to be tied in together with one big event. An event that is going to be totally big, if you know what I mean. He acknowledged that's what's going to happen, that right there. He said it's going to be a massive one. Now he also acknowledged that the Naga story arc, because he has acknowledged that it's going to come to an end, that when it's over, it's going to change a character's life, one character's life personally for quite a long time, maybe forever, we don't really know. But one character's life is going to be changed forever because of this. Now, I don't know who that character could be. I mean, you could pretty much put a guess on who that could be. I mean, it could be anybody. I mean, you could say it might be Eliza's, it might be Max's, it might be Rotor's, we don't really know. It might be Silver, we don't really know. But apparently, like I said, he has acknowledged that somebody's life will personally change due to this. And again, if you don't believe me, I'll provide the link to the interview down below, and you guys can listen to that yourself. Another thing that he acknowledged was the whole Hershey the Cat deal. Now, Hershey the Cat, wow. A lot of people thought when they looked at that panel in Sonic Universe, the first part of the current Egg Scramble arc, that cat in the black Legionnaire outfit was Hershey, and they probably were right. The only problem is if that's Hershey, which I'm 100% sure it is, which we're 100% sure as fans that it is, that's probably the only hint we're going to get so far, because according to what Ian has said, that due to circumstances beyond his control, any role that he had planned for Hershey in this arc is being put to the side. Now, apparently what he means by beyond his control is the whole Ken Penders deal. Basically what he's saying is that due to the whole Ken Penders situation, I can't use Hershey as much as I want to, or I plan to do, in this story arc. Even though he's come out and said, hey, I have concrete plans for her. Now, one of my subscribers here on YouTube, Aquarius19, they looked at this and in their video said, okay, look, he might be just saying that to keep us off track. And he might be. I mean, we all know that when comic book writers do interviews and all that, or even, and it's even with directors and writers of movies, they can't give too much away. They can't give too much away. I mean, they can tell you what the plot's going to be, but they can't give too much away. Now, Now, that's basically what he said about the whole Hershey deal. Now again, as I mentioned, I didn't listen to the entire thing. I will provide the link down below. And maybe down the line in the future, I might post it up there. If it's in multi-parts, it's in multi-parts. If it's in small snippets here and there, so be it. You know, I'm waiting until at least they post it up, or at least somebody else does. Now, another thing is, he said that a certain pattern is going to be broken at the next anniversary issue. Basically, one of the interviewers pointed out that it seems like with every major story, major anniversary issue, it's kind of a back and forth thing with Sonic and Eggman. Like in 175, Sonic won. I mean, in 175, Robotnik won. 200, Sonic won. 225, Robotnik won. So now he's saying that that trend may be broken, that pattern of back and forth is going to be broken by 250. Now, I don't know what he means by that. Now, we can't really acknowledge if he means 250. All he said to me, all I heard was next major anniversary issue. And while the next major anniversary issue is 250, but it doesn't really mean it's going to be 250. He just said and acknowledged that a major anniversary issue, he didn't say anything else besides the anniversary issue. And if it's 250, it's 250. But what does he mean? You see, this is the one thing that Daniel J. Dreisen's actually commented and gave him a positive thumbs up on, the fact that he's teasing the fan base. He's teasing us into wondering and making us guess exactly what is he talking about? What does he mean by, the trend's going to break. The trend's going to change with Robotnik and Sonic. You know, going back and forth with the victories. What does he mean? Does he mean an outside force is going to beat them both? What does he mean? We don't know. But apparently, that's what Ian says he's got planned for the next major anniversary issue, which ironically is going to be 250, but we don't know if it's going to be 250. It could be later on with 275. Now, he did answer some questions from fans. Aquarius 19's question about Hershey was one of them. But again, I haven't listened to the whole thing just yet. And all I can say is this. The questions I don't know what questions he's answered. Again, the link will be provided below if you guys want to listen to it. And that's really all I'm going to say on it. I mean, I'll give Ian credit. He's very intriguing on this. He's very, he knows how to get fans' attention. He knows how to get us talking. I'll give him that. You know, I will say this. I don't know if he said this jokingly or something like that. He said, hey, look, Sonic's single. You know, because they did bring up the whole Son Amy, Son Sal situation. He's like, look, you know, he basically said it on this podcast. He said, look, because Sega has mandated it, because Sega has said it, Sonic can't be with Amy. Sonic can't be with Sal, because Sega says so. Sonic's got to be single. But what he did say is if a romance does take place in the book, let it be. Enjoy it. Just let it go. That's one positive thing I liked about that. He said, just let it go. If a romance does occur, let it be. Let it go. That's all he says, just to let it go and everything. And that's just one of the things he acknowledged. Another thing he acknowledged was, one of them asked if it was, whose idea was it to make the Lord Cuckoo guy in the Babylon Rogues arc more powerful than Nagas? Was it Tracy? Was it Tracy's permission from Ian? And Ian came out and he said, look, I told Tracy, hey, it's your story, do what you want to do. Because, obviously Tracy is good friends enough and respects Ian's work enough to say, okay, you let me do whatever I want to do, but I'm going to keep it within your continuity. So in other words, basically it was Tracy's idea to make the Battlelord Cuckoo more powerful than Nagas. So that might be an interesting aspect in the future. But yeah, that was the confirmation there. You know, so, and they did kind of joke around with Ken Kong a little bit, Monkey Kong, and talking about how he's kind of naive. They talked about this at the beginning, but Ken said but this is what Ian said. Ian said he wanted to always kind of develop Monkey Kong. I think that's what he said. He wanted to. You have to listen to the interview at the beginning, but he says he always wanted to develop Monkey Kong into something more. Basically, be like a secondary Sonic, you know, with the powers, the cockiness, and all that, but also have a good heart and be noble. So that would explain why he gave up his ring to save Sally. Which I think we all know is going to bite Robotnik right back in the ass in the near future. But when and where, we don't know. Again, though, I thought, listening to some of this interview, I didn't listen to all of it just yet. I'll provide the link down below. And maybe down the line, I might upload it in parts, maybe in a full deal. I can't really say what's going to happen there. Because I know there's a lot of videos out there, TV tracks, Dirt Sheet Channel and all that, that put snippets, either it's a few minutes, half an hour worth of snippets of the podcast that, you know, of certain podcasts. So I can't really say whether or not I'm going to upload it or not, or I'll just split it up into certain parts and kind of scatter it in between the videos. So. But I'll let you know what will happen. I mean, I have it saved right now on my other computer, so when that time comes, it will be uploaded. But anyway, my overall thoughts on some of the things he said, I thought they were quite interesting. He does if you listen to this interview, he does a good impersonation of Big the Cat. You know, he does a good impersonation about that. I'll give him there. But he does answer some things. It's not just Sonic, but he also answers things about Mega Man and I think Mighty Crusaders and all that in Sonic Universe. So, but it's really, really an intriguing interview, and I definitely suggest you guys check it out. The link will be provided down below. You know, I mean, we may not, I mean, like I said before, we may not like some of the decisions he makes, but he's doing, from what I can understand here, he's doing what he can to move the comic along. Now, I don't know if he's answered anything about Mecha Sally, because I don't think I mean, he actually, here's the thing, one of the things he did tell him is, look, I can't really, because when they asked him about certain situations upcoming, or what he's got planned, he didn't deny some things that they asked if he's got it planned. He just said, well, I can't really say anything right now. I can't really say anything, you know, right now, if you will, because I don't want to give too much away, or, you know, I just don't want to, basically he doesn't want to give much away. He doesn't want to give anything away. It's kind of like one of those, I mean, basically what he said about the whole big event coming up next year between Sonic Universe 50 tied in with later on Sonic 250 is it's so big, it's tight-lipped, that he's not even going to let a word get slipped out. That's what he said. And I don't know if this goes beyond that or what, but he definitely has things planned. One thing that was intriguing too, before I go, that he said, was the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 adaptation. Yeah, they were going to do an adaptation of Episode 2 for Sonic 4. Here was the thing. That adaptation was actually going to break the trend of Sonic Universe. Yeah. Apparently, in an issue of Sonic Universe, I don't know what issue or arc it would have been in, it would have been the first backup story ever. In other words, breaking the trend of full 32-page issues in a story arc. That's what he said it would have done. So, but but overall, I have to say he did a tremendous job in this interview. He did give as much as he could. He did tell us as much as he could. But like I said, there are certain things that he can't say because either, like with Hershey, it's beyond his control, supposedly, and there are some things he just wants to keep tight-lipped going into next year. And now, all I can say is the speculation will begin. Again, the link will be provided down below, and like I said, maybe down the line, I might upload it, but I'm going to wait until Segabits does it or anybody else here on the YT does it. So, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later.